Hello and welcome to this new episode of Bootstrapping Your Dreams Show. I'm your host Manoj Agarwal, and today we'll be talking with Dr. Satyam Priyadarshy. So, Dr. Priyadarshy is the technology fellow and chief data scientist at Halliburton. Halliburton is a Fortune 500 company and is a global leader in oil and energy sector with upwards of $24 billion in annual revenue. So, Dr. Priyadarshy is regarded as the first chief data scientist in the oil and gas sector. He's also a global leader as a venture. He's also known as a global leader in venture idealist who transform businesses through the use of big data, data science, and emerging technologies. Numerous publications such as uh, Chemical and Engineering News, The Scientist, Silicon India, Oil Review Middle East, Petroleum Review, Rigzone, Forbes, and others have featured his work and profile. Dr. Priyadarshi has authored and co authored more than 35 scientific papers, several patents, book chapters, and articles offering a professional opinion for publications like Science. Dr. Priyadarshi has won numerous awards from the industry and is one of the most invited speakers for topics including emerging technologies, quantum mechanics, cybersecurity, blockchain, big data, digital transformation, and so on. Additionally, Dr. Priyadarshi serves on the advisory board of several startup businesses. He has been selected to deliver the 2021 and 22 SPE Distinguished Lecture by the Society for Petroleum Engineers. Dr. Priyadarshi is the founder of Relgnite Strategy Inc., is a senior fellow International Cybersecurity Center at George Mason University, and he also worked as an adjunct professor at Georgetown University. Prior to that, Dr. Priyadarshi held positions at Axiom as Vice President of Data Science, RKR Group as the Managing Director, George Mason University as a Professor, Network Solutions as Chief Knowledge Officer, and Vice President of Analytics at AOL and AOL as Senior Research Scientist and Head. He has received MBA from Virginia Tech and PhD in Quantum and Theoretical Chemistry from IIT Bombay. Wow, that's an amazing resume, Dr. Priyadarshi. I'm so glad to have you. Thank you so much for
Thank,
being here.
thank you. Manoj.
Awesome. So before we get started, we have gone through a huge list of accomplishments. Can you walk us through your life journey? Like, how did you get to this point, and what kind of events led you to this level of success?
So, um, if I had to put in few words, then it's all the blessings of so many people that does it. You do
Mhm.
the hard work, and but blessings are there. After your mother, the teachers play a big role. In my case, my primary school teacher to PhD
Mhm.
advisor has a big role in transforming how you think of problems. Especially my PhD advisor, the field of quantum mechanics is not easy,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
with a master's degree in chemistry, you end up in doing quantum physics applied to biophysics,
Mhm.
and write papers in the first 6 months of your PhD. That changes the way you think, and
Mhm.
then of course career is actually a contribution of a lot of people, right? You meet so many people both in academics and industry, but the philosophical aspect comes from your culture and faith, so to say. And for me, my mother has trained us to listen to Hanuman Chalisa,
Mhm.
uh, right? And if most people sing it, but if you actually understand it, then
Uh-huh.
you will know that anything is possible. And
Yeah, yeah.
we can go in details of it, but my foundation and my success really depends on understanding those words, which are all 16 to 20 words in a couplet, and
Yeah,
understanding the meaning of it in practical life has
yeah.
actually helped me reach where I am.
That's awesome. Yeah, there is so much wisdom in that. Like, as you said, one success is a not just one's own success, but also the people that contribute to the life and the way that you think, and also all the wisdom that is encapsulated in all these ancient texts. And as you said, a lot of people listen to it, a lot of people sing it, but the true difference happens makes a difference when you actually understand it and implement it in your life. So taking that forward, like, can you share some insights from Hanuman Chalisa? Like, what do you apply in your life? Because even I'll be honest, like, I haven't really understood it. I have heard it many times, but I don't understand it.
Interesting, right? So if when you look at scientifically, we say that human beings have a lot of intelligence or potential, right? In fact, we believe we are a small part of the whole cosmic infinity, right?
Mhm.
So we have infinitely small piece of it, correct? But at the same time, if you think of it, if you really think of it seriously and listen to Hanuman Chalisa, and you look at it in practical sense, right? For anything that we do, we have to do so many functions, right?
Mhm.
So there is a chaupai which says, "Sukshma रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र जी के काज संवारे." Now think of
Mhm.
it. Ram may be your boss or your goal. So you're focused on your goal. In order to achieve that goal, you have to take avatar in different form. One,
Mhm.
sometimes you have to be very nice, sometimes you could be strict, sometimes you have to delegate, sometimes you have to take help, right? So e- same person has to play multiple roles,
Yes, yes, yes,
correct?
yes, yes.
And because if you're solving a problem, not every problem has the same solution.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
you're doing calculus, or sometimes you're doing simple logic, right? You don't want to run calculus for every problem.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So practical life is like that. So in business world, you are dealing with your co-workers, you're dealing with your boss, you're dealing with your subordinates.
yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
how do you manage them? Some bosses might be strict, some might be jovial. You can't be treating everybody equal.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to treat them with respect and work with them. So that means
Mhm.
you as one person has to play. You have to adapt and take this avatar of dealing with the person opposite to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
So
very
that chop,
interesting.
so that chopai alone, if somebody can understand and implement, you don't need anything else.
No, that is very interesting. So it's almost like, you know, as we say, treat other people like they want to be treated, or that's the golden rule, and it sort of points to that direction, and then also focused on goals and sort of trying different things,
Yeah,
trying different solutions for similar problems. So that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm gonna have to go deeper into this and learn about it. Now, the next question is, like, you have, you have a you have a combination of a lot of uh, educational background, academic background, and also success in the business world, especially in a competitive industry like oil and gas. So can you help us understand the importance of education, and how does that help you in your career? Like, is because I hear a lot of debate these days among young people that university education is not worth it anymore, and you can succeed without that, and a lot of people give a lot of examples of highly successful people who did not get any education. So what are your views about it?
you see, I would not go that far that university education is not needed and everybody can succeed without it. If
Mhm.
that was the case, then we should have lot more unicorns.
Mhm. Yes,
Correct.
yes,
That
yes,
the
yes.
dropout rate is not one or two people.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Dropout rate is in few percentages.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 20,
But
thirty
we
percent
don't,
I think. Yeah.
right? But we don't see that many CEOs or successful people. We have
Mhm.
outliers, complete
Mhm.
outliers, right?
Mhm.
But if you look at the number of successful people who have educated, they are a lot more.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
one has to be very careful how you interpret that data.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, yes, there is a challenge with the evolution of technology and its implementation. Uh, have the universities kept up with that kind of training? That is the question. And
Mhm.
and many universities are now changing their ways. Right. For example, like let's say take simple example, computer science. If you still teach Fortran and Pascal, how many kids want to learn it?
Mhm.
Everybody wants to learn Python, for example,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But if professors are not teaching, then they will go outside and learn, and they will be better successful programmer because that's where the jobs are.
Yeah,
Correct.
absolutely, absolutely.
So I think so. But in general, education or knowledge is the only thing that does not decay.
Yeah, that's
It
true.
can only, it can only grow.
Yeah, yeah.
And we all come, at least we all come from India. India has been a source of knowledge for decades, thousands of years.
Yes,
Nothing
absolutely.
nothing has died.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we all know that knowledge only grows by sharing. and
Yeah,
and when you share, that means you learn more. You learn more means you grow more,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Absolutely. That's
like,
yeah,
like in stock market they say, right, that you diversify your portfolio.
yeah, yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
It's the same thing. You diversify your knowledge because then you can integrate what you learn
Absolutely.
from psychology, or what you learn from physics, what you learn from medical side. You can actually synthesize a better person
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you learn from them. So
yeah,
education has no bounds, but at the same time, university provides you the footing to understand different areas. It is not the
absolutely.
degree that you get. That degree enables you to understand other things.
Yeah,
If you want to have an open mind. If you say I just learned chemistry, I don't want to even read chemical engineering, then we have a problem.
yes, yes, yes. Of course, of course. And you, you beautifully used your data scientist hat to prove that, because, as you said, like there are not a lot of dropouts doing really well. So that's great. Thank you for sharing that. Now let's turn the discussion towards data, because it has been impacting the world for a long time. What And you have a unique advantage that you work with such a large corporation and such large amounts of data and variety of data. What kind of future do you see in how is data impacting our lives, and how is it going to what will the future hold as we consume, produce, analyze, and share more data with each other?
Yeah. So if you look at history, right, data has been always playing a role. Where even even if you study articles from 1800, statistical analysis, it was all data. Correct.
Mhm, mhm,
Like we were talking about COVID pandemic, but
mhm.
pandemic spread has been studied by small amount of data in for 200 years, so to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So data has always played a role. Where we are in today's world, that change has happened is now we are looking at couple of things. We are looking at how can we automate things,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So if you, in order to automate, you have to first optimize something, correct? And
Yeah,
when you
yes, yes.
optimize something, you can automate it. And once you have automated, then you want to innovate a new solution,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
correct? So data will allow you to actually help create new innovative solutions for, and also give you wider exposure to things that are yet to be tapped. Oh,
Yes,
like
yes.
example, you can see uh, many years ago people talked about a god particle, but nobody knew what it was. But
Yeah, yeah.
when they were able to analyze hundreds of like gigabytes and terabytes and petabytes of data, now suddenly they say, oh, there is a god particle, which would
Mhm.
not have been possible, right? Same thing when you look at the diagnosis of medical conditions. If the doctor was very knowledgeable, he would do holistic kind of analysis. But today, you can actually predict certain things that, oh, this is likely to happen in 2 months, 3 months, and that is all coming from data. It's not just pure somebody's tacit knowledge.
Mhm.
So this
Yeah.
conversion of tacit knowledge into data has helped a lot, and the data by itself has helped a lot. And I think what we are looking at the future is high degree of machine-to-machine communication that will take place, and then of that means human cognition has to keep up with that.
Interesting. And on the flip side, a lot of people are afraid of AI, afraid of what it will do, and particularly because they watch these disastrous scenarios in Hollywood movies. What is your response to people who are afraid of technology, afraid of AI, and they think it's going to take over the jobs and stuff like that? What are your views around that?
So in the history of technology revolutions, so we are talking with people, some people talk about industry 4.0 and industry 5.0, but if you go back to 1 and 2 and 3, the adoption and adaptability to technology has never reduced the total number of jobs. The
Mm-hmm.
nature of the jobs have changed, and in fact it has increased. I use
Yes.
one classic example from the music industry,
Yeah, yeah.
right? I think we are both in that group where we have seen that LP records.
Yes, of
Yes.
course. Yeah.
So if you want to, if you think of it, you bought this one record which had 3 songs or 4 songs, and in order to play that you needed a big box.
Yes, yes,
you
yes.
couldn't you couldn't share that song unless you invited people for dinner at your place.
Yes, yes, yes.
But at that time, 5 artists made money and 5 companies made money. In India,
Yeah,
HMB was one of the famous ones, right?
yeah, yeah.
But then the technology miniaturized and we got started getting cassette players. Cassettes came. It was much smaller. You can hang it on your shoulder and go to a friend's house. Correct? But
Mm-hmm.
you still needed a physical thing. But
Yes, yes.
today, where we live today, is streaming operations. Songs are sitting somewhere in the cloud in some god, maybe in Canada, but I'm listening to that in US, and I can create my own album and share it to someone in India,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now, if you look at the number of artists that are being created in today's, maybe probably five artists every day,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
and the total size of the pizza of revenue or money has gone into billions,
Yes, 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 yes.
right? So number of jobs increased, type of jobs changed, but music after all is the music industry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I think one has to really look at the positive side of it. Of course, there are people who will try to scare you and say, "Oh, artificial intelligence will reduce the jobs." No, no, I don't. Who is going to build the robots? Tell me.
Yeah, yeah,
Who's going to make sure that the algorithms are rightly deployed? Who is going to make sure that the model management is there,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right. So if you think of it, the type of jobs will change, but total number of jobs is not going to reduce. There will be a different. You basically, humans should be playing a high cognition role rather than a low level role. Hence, that
Absolutely.
automation will help you to do that,
Yes,
and
yes.
we need it, right? If think the conversations we are having about hyperloop and going to moon and all, um, robots are not going to build satellite tomorrow,
Yeah, I think,
right?
yeah, exactly. I don't think AI is ambitious. I don't think there is any algorithm for ambition and looking for problems like humans do. Like we are explorers, we are always looking for new ways of making life easy or just evolving it.
And then and AI is not one thing, right? It's not a box.
Yeah, yeah,
It is
exactly.
just it is like our intelligence, right? Sometimes some people are intelligent in music, some people are intelligent in photography, some people are intelligent in the writing, right? In fact, in one of my talks, I actually use a picture of a um, Balgadi, right? The
Mm-hmm.
bullock cart. There is a video on the internet you can find. This bull actually comes and mounts the cart on itself and
I
walks.
see.
There is no driver.
Uh-huh.
So I say, has the algorithms reached that point in in transportation yet?
Mm.
Right. So we
Yeah.
have to reach to this animal cognition, then we can talk about human cognition.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. That's a great example. Now, related to this is, since you are a chief data science officer at chief data scientist at Halliburton, you must run into other leaders in other corporations. Uh, when I talk to a lot of leaders in corporations, my sense is that still the data literacy, the understanding of what data can do for organizations is still not there yet. Like, the upper management is still, it for them it's still a mystery. What are your views around that? Like, do you think a lot of our decision makers, leaders, they understand the power of data, they are doing enough to harness the power of data?
No, so the great question. Actually, being a data person, I actually collect data about it. So
Uh-huh.
when I meet various organizations and group of people, I usually do a survey and
Uh-huh.
ask them on what is the maturity in terms of data, digital things, and I literally ask these questions in a paper pencil format.
I
So
see.
it's not about the survey. It is like, okay, what is the definition of analytics?
Uh-huh. I
right?
see.
What is
I see.
predictive analytics? We talk these people talk about these words,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
what do they understand? Like, what is digital,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
what is big data? What is, right? And
Uh-huh.
when you combine that, I have a beautiful slide. I call it digital minefield. And if
Mm-hmm.
I was a professor, then most people would have failed it.
I see.
Right. So
Uh-huh.
so yes, certainly there is a gap, and there are good reasons for it. What I my experience has been, not this industry but even before, is that people are kind of scared because data always tells the truth.
Mm. That's true. That's true.
So whatever it is if the data is not modified by human beings, then it will tell the truth of an operation, its
Uh-huh.
performance. And many of these people have been sitting on that inefficiency for a long time, so they don't want to really that to be exposed. Hence
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't want to do. One of the best, sometimes we say, oh, let's do this, and I will get an answer, oh, we don't have good quality data.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
My question to such people is that if you don't have good quality data, then why are you wasting money in storing and hiring a sysadmin and having a database license on a
Yeah, yeah,
bad data?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
are actually doing capital waste for the company.
Mm-hmm.
So at least
Yeah.
look at the data, and for the future, at least improve the data.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Right. So there is a sense of cultural blockade in terms of looking at it, and hence they
Mm.
will they will try to say, oh, let's not do this. But
Yes, yes.
as we all know, we can look at the retail industry, what happened to it. People are closing stores crazily because they never looked at the data properly,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
because the leaders didn't have a vision.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing that I struggle with, like how to educate people about the power of data, because they see it everywhere, but they don't realize the power that is being unleashed by the companies who understand data. Just like you mentioned, Amazon is all about data. It's a data company. And Facebook, all these platforms, they are data companies. And how do you educate other executives, other leaders, about the use of data and how it can transform the world?
Yeah, on that, we have been especially in this industry. When I started a couple of years back, 2014, 15, there were people who would say that I'm in the wrong industry.
Mm, mm, mm.
But by 2016, we built this whole center of excellence. And over the last that 4 5 years, we have trained over 1,000 people worldwide,
I see.
and including executives. And in fact, I conduct a very special executive session for one of the big companies in the Middle East region. Only executives for a 4 hour session on the value of data driven innovation and
Mhm.
digital transformation. uh, I, the lecture that I gave on SPE was part of it, kind of. And so I know that it can be done, and it is being done. And executives have open mind. And of course, it takes time. It's not overnight thing.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
we've
yeah,
been
yeah.
in this journey for 2 years. And the other one is, since I'm also currently adjunct faculty at a couple of other universities. Uh, that's where I have changed some model of how to do this data-driven education. And as a result, those young kids who come out of college now, their thought process is different.
Yeah, yeah. That's great. That's great. Yeah, and as you said, like the big question is about the trust factor as well, and also our own insecurities and biases that are shown by the data. So I think that is another hurdle to overcome. But it's great that you're involved in these efforts to educate other leaders as well. Um, Now, coming back to your career, what are some of the important lessons you may have learned that you can share? Maybe we all make mistakes as we start to grow massively. So what are some of those mistakes or lessons that you can share with us, which can be insightful for others?
Chanakya in 326 said,
Mhm.
life is too short to do all the mistakes,
Yes, yes, yes.
right? So let's learn from other people's mistake.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
um, and also he also says that the knowledge is the key to success, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
one of the things is to remember, like, if you have done a mistake, don't do the same mistake twice. That is the
Yes.
biggest thing,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Uh, and then feel free to read. The more you read, you can read, people have written their challenges, saying, oh, this may be a challenge, why try that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And so you can figure out a better way of doing certain things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, so if you don't read books and you don't read articles, and you don't, look, okay, as an introvert you may not talk to too many people, but at least you can read.
Yes,
So
yes.
that way you can avoid all the mistakes of other people, and that's what I did. Once I decided that I want to get quit academics and be in the corporate world, and in first 6 months of joining AOL, I realized that in corporate world there is a hierarchy of things, of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I read some book saying, oh, if you want to be a CEO or something, or a CTO, then you have to be of this age, so you can become this in 20 years or whatever, right?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
time
yeah.
the startup boom was not that there at that time. So and then I calculated, oh my god, I don't have enough years, so I want to be in 10 years in the C suite. Correct. Now
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
nobody knows how in my family how to go to that. None of my
Mm-hmm.
friends all are scientists, so I went and read all the books that I could read in the Ruston library.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then I said, okay, my big path. I said 10 years I will be there. And when I joined Network Solutions, reporting to the CEO chairman, that was 9.5 years into my journey.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think what most people think is, one is, don't follow somebody else's career,
Mm. That's a very big one for sure.
because all of us are different,
Yes, yes, yes.
right? And we have all different skill sets. What people compare and contrast with somebody else's, that is one of the biggest mistake people do,
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
And so I have disrupted my career many times, like from pure academics to even in science. I never worked in the same field, uh, and then to being a technologist, and then R&D head, and then to become an analytics head and a marketing, and then doing consulting and startups, and now in oil and gas industry.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all over the map, but that's one way to do it.
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
Sometimes things fall in place. Sometimes you have to really say, what I really want to achieve, and work on it and learn new things. I have to learn a lot in this industry, geophysics, geology, whatnot, right? So, the main thing is, don't waste your time.
yeah.
Read more. Don't do the mistakes others have done, and don't repeat the same mistake again.
Those are very insightful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, as you said, like going from one career to another, one field to another, is scary for a lot of people. But you have been able to do it successfully, and many other guests, including on this show, they say the same thing. They follow a path of trying out different things, and then I've done the same thing. Going from technology to business and podcasting and whatnot. Along the way, you, as you said, you have to learn a lot of things, but you have to ask for help as well. So can you tell us a little bit about what kind of people you met, mentors or coaches who provided you the help, what kind of impact they had on your life?
That's a great question. To be very frank, I've been very lucky. I I never I've never asked for a job in my life.
Uh-huh, I see.
I've been always All my jobs have come through.
Okay.
Uh, like one day I was sitting and I got a call from an executive recruiter. A oil and gas industry wants you. Same thing
Mm-hmm.
happened when he joined. What do you call, Axiom Corporation. I just come back from India, and I got a call from someone. He's saying, "Oh, do you want to get into this consulting?" I said, "Sure, why not?" Say,
Mm-hmm.
right. So that way, but maybe somebody may not have done direct mentoring, so to say,
I
but
see.
you always have some indirect mentors,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
of course.
Which you may not call mentors in traditional sense,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like for example, as I said, my PhD advisor, right? He wired me to think and do multiple problems at the same time, hard problems that too, right? uh, Encourage that to write a paper in the two fields, so you'd start thinking differently. uh,
Mm-hmm.
my mother has been very influential in my career. for all from the childhood, right? My parents have put my father has been very instrumental in making sure that whatever you do is with honesty, correct?
Hmm.
Then you see like some of the colleagues that you work with, like my first manager at AOL, a great person. He left me alone to do whatever I wanted.
Hmm.
Who does that in the corporate world?
Yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
today when I run organizations, I give freedom to all the people who work for me. Think, okay, work has to be done, but at the
Yes.
same time, no need to micromanage.
Yeah, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
there are some indirect mentorship that happens in the process. If you are, as you tune into the frequency, as we call it,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
it doesn't have to be a formal thing.
yeah, yeah,
And then one other thing is like if you mentor other people, that is also in kind some sense gain for you, because you are interacting with different type of people whom you are trying to grow their career. So you will see how could you have done differently.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as you said, like if you're surrounded by good people and you take notice and you learn about their good habits, or whether that's a formal mentor mentee relationship or not, you can pick up a lot of those good habits, and they help you along the way. Awesome. So that's great. Thank you so much for this insightful discussion and sharing your thoughts with us. Now, before I let you go, if people want to connect with you, what is the best way to reach to you?
For me, the best way is LinkedIn. So just search by my last name or the full name. I think I'm the only one with that name.
Uh-huh.
If you spell it right, because if you put I at the end of my name, then you will find more. But
Yeah,
with
yeah,
my with Y at the end, there is only one.
yeah.
Uh,
Now
I'm
we'll
happy.
put the link to the LinkedIn profile in the show notes.
Yeah, so that's the best way actually.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, thanks so
Thank you.
much.